This is one of the few weapons that you actually, have a pet on your weapon at least. And yeah, this gun's just ridiculous. I love guns that have like little secret compartments. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just a little bit gross, and that's why I put it at numbers. All right, and welcome back, guys. And this has been a long-awaited video. In this video, we're gonna go over every single Mastercraft in Cold War right now. There are 25 of them, and we're gonna be ranking them from worst to best. We're gonna view the inspects, we're gonna look at the weapon and kind of rate it and see how good it is compared to, the rest of them in here. And this might be it. There might not be any more Mastercrafts for this. Today, we got the Void Monster, which was the last one that's in the code, and Vanguard launches next week. So for all we know, this could be all of them. Maybe a few more will come out after Vanguard comes out, but who knows? But we're gonna sit down. One thing I do have to make clear, and we get a lot of questions on this video is just ranking the Mastercrafts. If you go to weapons right here, you see this icon. This icon means a Mastercraft weapon. Whereas if we go to the shop for the AK right here, there is another ultra rarity, which is red, but this is reactive. This is the symbol for reactive. In this video, we are just covering the Mastercraft weapons. I kind of prefer these because they got the unique inspect, all that other stuff. But if you do want to see another video where we go through every single reactive, if you guys show massive support on this, maybe we'll do it. But then again, I don't own a lot of them, and it's probably going to cost me close to $300 to buy all of them. And I don't know, we might do it. I don't want to hold anything against it right now. I'm not planning it, but maybe we'll. But yeah, with that, I guess let's go ahead and hop in game. And just like that, we're now loaded into game. One super important thing to note is this is completely based off of looks, and obviously basing stuff off of looks is very opinion based. So just because I think something looks good or I think something looks bad doesn't mean you're necessarily going to agree. So obviously with that, be prepared, as my list might differ greatly from yours. But if it does, just leave it in the comments below. That way we get kind of a general ranking list. And on top of that, I give a massive thanks to everyone who's going to like, comment, and watch this video in its entirety, as those three things helps me out massively. And I'm also going to have a version of this video that just has the inspects with audio with no commentary if you want to see that link down below. But starting off here, in our number 25th spot, we have the Roman MP5. This was actually from a battle pass. I think this came like season 2 or season 3. So if you didn't get it in that battle pass, you can no longer get this. And you can see right off the bat, as we're inspecting this, this does not have a unique inspect. This is just a normal MP5 inspect, and there are 3 Mastercrafts in the game that are like this being one of them, and that's why I put it all the way down here. Obviously, it's better than the average blueprint. I mean, it looks super cool, but without having a unique inspect, it kind of loses what makes a Mastercraft a Mastercraft. And then coming in our number 24 spot, we have the Science Project AK, and it looks cool once again, but as you see with that inspect there, it is the normal AK inspect, which kind of makes me put it at the 24th spot. And it's sad because this came in a double Mastercraft bundle. We got one bundle that came with 2 Mastercrafts, and it came with this and another weapon. The other weapon had a unique inspect, just not the AK. So it got the short end of the stick in that deal. All right, now here we have number 23, and this is the Night Raid PPSH Mastercraft. And once again, it's got the normal inspection. Nothing special about this here. This you actually got for pre-ordering Vanguard, and it's cool, but not as cool as everything else past this, because every single weapon past this point is going to have a unique inspect, which is what I'm super excited about. I mean, it's cool. It's got the moving wind, it's got the lights, it's got the glass when you ADS. But yeah, that's pretty much it, why it came in the 23rd spot here. Now moving up to our 22nd spot, our first weapon with a unique inspect, we got the AK-7 collector's item here. The weapon itself looks cool. It's like a toy weapon, but the inspect, it's unique, but at the same time, it's pretty basic. Like, there's not a whole lot going on with it. All you do is push this red button in the back, and then you proceed to ADS with a secondary iron sight. So it's cool, got a unique inspect, but yeah, 22 for me. Now coming in the 21st spot, we've got the XM4 Swatt Master. This one's kind of cool. You activate the weapon, then you proceed to touch the front of it, shocking yourself. I mean, it looks cool. It just, not as cool as everything else. Then coming in the 20th spot, yes, this is another AK. We're going to see quite a few of these. This one's actually pretty sick. So you've got a lizard on your weapon, you feed it, it runs around, then breeze fire. There's just so many AK Mastercrafts. This one kind of gets outshadowed, making it this low on the list at number 20, but it's still kind of cool. This is one of the few weapons that you actually, have a pet on your weapon at least. Number 19 is the Road Mongrel for the Stoner here. And what makes this interesting, this is the only Mastercraft for an LMG in the entirety of Cold War. And it's pretty sick. It's a motorcycle, you rev it. I mean, it's got like a little windshield for the iron sights there. It's pretty sick. I'm just not a huge motorcycle guy, so that's why it's lower on my list. But if that was your thing and you were hugely into motorcycles, I could see this being a lot closer to the top for your list there. But yeah. And then coming in at number 18, we've got the MAC-10. This is the Blast idol. What's cool about this one is it's pretty quick, and we've got another live animal. There is a cat inside of the tomb there. You open it up, The hand comes out, you play with the hand a little bit, and it's cool, but it is a little bit basic here. Now for number 17, we've got the Incubator M16. And this one's probably one of the grossest Mastercrafts. Once again, this is the only tac rifle Mastercraft, but it's kind of weird. You can see that moving eye on the side, so when you inspect it, you touch the green bubble, and then you proceed to pull the leg, and it makes like critter noises the entire time. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just a little bit gross, and that's why I put it at number 17. Now moving on, number 16, we have the Mothership Tundra here. This one's actually pretty sick. So it's a flying, obviously, mothership there. It's got planes that fly around it that spawn out of nowhere, and the gun itself is shooting other small guns, taking out the planes in the sky. Pretty sick, and it does look pretty decent with camos here. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Now for number 15, we've got the Shredder FFAR. Honestly, when I first got this, I thought I was going to like it more than what I do. I thought it was going to be near the top of the list, but you can see here we're putting on number 15. I mean, the weapon itself looks sick. It's got, you know, the guitar at the front, and when you inspect it, you play the piano on it, which sounds cool. But I don't find myself using this one over the other Mastercrafts. For number 14, we've got the Tape Deck KSP. Once again, this one also plays audio, but instead you inspect it, you take out the tape, you flip it around, and then it's got one of 3 songs it can play as you do it. One of them is a very iconic song here. If we go ahead, wait for him to put it in one more time. Yeah, and just because it plays that song is why I put it over. Obviously, the weapon itself doesn't look cooler, but because of the song it played, I put it over top of the Shredder, just because, you know, a little bit of nostalgia there. And now for number 13, we got the QBZ, the Phoenix Inferno here. This one's pretty sick. We're starting to get to the point where they're all really cool. You unlock the weapon, a fire phoenix comes out of it, but on top of that, like, you got the glowing eyes, you got the spinning crystal, like, everything about this. Look at that. Look at all the glowing parts on it. Looks sick, looks amazing with camos. Like I said, we're getting to the point where every single one after this is going to be pretty freaking sick. And then after this, coming in at the number 12 spot, we've got the Mayan Bullfrog here. This is the one I actually just bought before this video started. This is the last one to complete my collection. I didn't even know what this inspect was until I looked at it. It's pretty sick. I mean, you get like all of these like little darts that get shot at the weapon, get stuck in it, you brush them off, and you just keep going about your way. And the weapon itself looks pretty cool. You got all those little details on it. Probably looks amazing with DM Ultra. My only complaint is the iron sights. As you saw with the other weapons, they added like these cool sights on it. This has just a basic sight. They didn't really change it at all. It would have been kind of cool if they would have done that, but yeah. Now for number 11, we actually have our second AK-74U Mastercraft, and this one's so much better than the other one. Very few weapons have 2 Mastercrafts, but I'm so glad they released this one because the original one, there's a reason it was super low on the list. But look at this. You rub the lamp and look at the gun itself. It just looks fantastic. And you've got a mad genie that pops out of the weapon. But yeah, this gun looks amazing with camos, and this is what I was talking about. You see how they completely changed up how this iron sight looks? A lot of the weapons did that. I don't know why. The Bullfrog was one of the earlier ones, so that's probably why. And now coming in at number 10, we've got the Sultan's EM2. This is actually a reactive weapon too, so as you get kills, it evolves, and the inspect on this is pretty sick here. Yeah, this is one of the newer ones. They're getting pretty fancy with these. So yeah, you pull out a hookah. It is a hookah gun here. Once again, the sight's super fancy as well. And yeah, this gun's just ridiculous. I love guns that have like little secret compartments. Pull out the hookah, take a hit, in between, you know, slaying zombies, put it back in, and get ready for the next round. Now here in the number 9 spot, we got the XM4 White Rabbit. This was the first ever reactive Mastercraft, and the inspect's pretty ridiculous. You eat the golden bug off the weapon starts moving, orbs come out of it, you touch the weapon's hand, and then everything goes back to normal. Yeah, pretty ridiculous with that. One of the more trippy ones. And it is reactive. So as you get kills with it, it's going to react. And we do have a full video on all these on my channel if you want to check that out. But this one's pretty cool here. Number 8, we've got the Neurotransmitter LC10, one of the few DLC weapon Mastercrafts. Only a handful of DLC weapons actually ended up getting Mastercrafts. And this one's pretty sick. A little weird. You press the button, you got the rockets that come out of it, and then you proceed to shoot the rockets. And if you noticed, right when we first inspected this, there's a flopping shark for the laser sight. Yeah, don't ask me why, but that is a shark laser sight that's moving on your weapon, kind of like the other weapons that have had a few animals on them. So yeah. Now for the number 7 spot, we have another AK-47, and this is actually the newest Mastercraft available. This was released just today at the time of recording this, and it's pretty ridiculous. A lot of people compare this to the Wonder Waffle. I don't quite see it. I guess a little bit, but you know, the Wonder Waffle didn't have an eye. At least I don't remember the Wonder Waffle having an eye. Maybe I'm misremembering, and I don't remember it having flesh. But it's like a Frankenstein weapon with an eye. And you can't really see it that well, but there's actually a moving mouth on the other side, but you really can't see it with the Inspect, so it's a little bit pointless. The iron sights are actually super cool with this, and this is another reactive one. It actually upgrades as you get more and more kills with it. But it's another AK-74U, or this is another AK Mastercraft. This is our third AK-47 Mastercraft, but oh, that eye gets me every freaking time. The Frankenstein weapon here. Coming in the number 6 spot, our first shotgun here, the ray gun Gallo. I think it's actually called the crap, I wrote it down. The Blast-O-Matic here. And I didn't like this Inspect when I first reviewed it, but it kind of grew on me. As you can see, you look at it, and what he's trying to do here, he's trying to open it like a ray gun to reload it. And then he realizes, oh, it's a shotgun. You got to reload it with shells. I didn't notice that when I originally did my review. I think it's kind of cool, but I wish they would have gone a little bit farther with it. The reason it's so high on the list is because of how amazing it looks. This weapon just looks absolutely, I mean, it's a Gallo ray gun. It looks fantastic. Any sort of camos you put on it look fantastic. It looks fantastic, Pack-a-Punch. I think the Inspect could have been better. I get what they're going for, but I wish it was, the iron sights are cool too. I wish it was just a little bit better for the Inspect. And now here we are finally, we've made it to the top 5. Coming in the number 5th spot is the AK-47 ICBRifle, and this is our 4th and final AK. This to me is just so simple, and I just love it. It looks fantastic with all of the camos. This with Dark Aether is one of the best looking weapons in the entire game. And look at the Inspect here. You flip a switch, and the weapon takes off. This was the original Mastercraft. This was actually the first Mastercraft introduced in Call of Duty history. Well, the first introduced, ever since Modern Warfare 2019, bundle form. Ever since bundles were introduced. And it's one of the best. It made the top 5. I absolutely love this. And it's one of my more used weapons in Zombie just because I love the way it looks. Now for number 4, we've got the Mortal Anguish Pellington here. Once again, one of the first Mastercrafts introduced. I'm just going to let it speak for itself. Yeah. Like I said, some of these original Mastercrafts were just so sick. The weapon itself looks sick. Look at it. It's got the glowing like red effect here. And then the Inspect, the gun kind of freaks out. You open the chamber and the bullet flies out and just kind of sits there. And then it gets sucked back in. So yeah, number 4 spot, Mortal Anguish Pellington. And now coming in the number 3 spot, we got the Hauer 77 Special Batch. This was actually the other Mastercraft that came with that AK that didn't have an Inspect. And look at how sick this Inspect is. You tap the glass, there's a rat in the glass, and then you pour drink out of your weapon and drink it and then throw the glass away. There's so much going on here. It's hard to like, there's a rat and then there's also a drink. There's so much going on. It's the reason I ranked it at number 3. I really like this weapon. It looks great with camos, and it's so sad to think that this was the double Mastercraft blueprint, and one of the weapons ranked super high and the other one ranked super low. But enough of that. Coming in the number 2 spot, and this is where I made a mistake earlier. I said the M16 was the only Mastercraft in the attack rifle category, but this bad boy exists for the AUG here, and this is actually called the Flying Dutchman, and look at this Inspect. Yeah, I don't know how that I kind of forgot this existed when I said that with the M16. This, in my opinion, is the second best, might even be the best. It's a full-on pirate ship weapon, and you inspect it, and I mean, it's got a whole bunch of stuff you can't see. You can see kind of a little bit as we reload it. There's lights in the back here. This weapon looks cool, even with the parts you can't see. But as you inspect it, the gun comes to life almost. A spirit fighter comes out of the gun, shoots cannons, and then he flies around the gun before entering back. So definitely earned its spot, in my opinion, at the number 2 spot. And now finally, for the number 1 spot, you probably guessed it. This is the Ice Drake for the Krig, and I mean, this is probably the most iconic Mastercraft in this game. I think every single YouTuber made a video on this when it dropped, which we really haven't seen that with any other Mastercraft. It's a dragon weapon. I mean, you pick it up, the dragon flies completely out of your hand. It's got this awesome blue effect around it. The barrel's blue. It looks amazing with all camos. You put diamond on it, looks fantastic. DM Ultra. And I said it before, I go back and forth. My opinions on these change all the time. So if you ask me a week from now, I might not rank this number 1, but it's definitely in the top 5 at all times. Like, look at this. It's a dragon weapon that flies out of your hand with snow effect. Like, it is fantastic. I don't know. For right now, it's sitting at the #1 spot. Maybe the AUG's better than this, and maybe next week if you ask me next week, maybe my opinions will have changed. But right now, after looking and sitting through all of these for this footage, I'm ranking in the #1 spot. But with that, guys, my question for you guys is, what is, out of all 25 of these that we just showed, what, in your opinion, is it the best? Is it this one? Is it the Gallo ray gun? I know a lot of people are probably going to put that as #1. The Inspect just isn't quite it. It's not enough for me to put it at the #1 spot. The AUG's amazing. Pretty much towards everything past in the top 10 was pretty freaking fantastic, and it's really hard to rank all these. I'm not gonna lie, sitting here looking at these, it's really hard to make some of these decisions here. So some of the stuff, even if I did this again, I'd flop it around a little bit. But with that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. What other list do you want me to make? I know I'm planning on making maybe an ultra operator skin, all of the animated operators, maybe one for all the reactive weapons, and we're gonna be continuing this into Vanguard. So if you want to see more of these videos like this where we rank a bunch of stuff, definitely let me know what you want to see, and especially once Vanguard comes, what stuff you want to see like this in Vanguard. With that, thank you guys so much for watching, especially all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I want to take the last moment here to thank everyone who became a Twitch sub or a YouTube member, and extra special thanks to those who've taken above and beyond and became an Unlock Plus member on YouTube. We've got Hunter Don Doe, we've got the most OP Gobblegum ever, Round Robin, and then we've got the true homie, Ryan the Slayer.